Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Another fun-filled day. Let's see what we got going on there. We start off today with the Swiss, unless anybody wants to say, "Hey, IVB, you're early. Welcome to the hood." I like looking at the Swiss. I've come to the conclusion that I want to start off with the Swiss most of the mornings now, and then go to the euro, because I find that the Swiss seems to be very true to the dollar more than any of the other products. And I know I've been raving about the Swiss for a while now, but facts are facts, and there's not much else you can be said about that. So here we go. You can see it on J4X right there. It's rolling over, which means basically the dollar is going down, and the Swiss is becoming more valuable. And you can see it right here also. Let's see, let's put that line in there. There we go. And went into the daily sell there. And it's just kind of moseying on down, just the same way as it's doing on a J4X. And again, I'm very convinced that watching this gives us a better insight. A cable did, yeah. We can jump over to that. Let's see what's going on with cable. Like I said, I have no problem jumping around. Here it is on J4X. Let's see, what do we have going on there? Line 13. 3 days in a buy, 3 weeks in a sell. Okay, let's take a look at it on our work here. You can see on, first of all, you can see on a J4X, it's marching north real well, heading up. It is heading up strong. Now let's find it over here, right there. Same situation, marching up on our daily, since this bottom in here. And look at the weekly. The weekly doesn't seem to want to let go. You can see the manifolds are getting a little tighter, from this action here. But look at the white line. The white line is buried way down. So, this may be, as I said, I think I said this a couple days ago, a dead cat bounce. We'll see. But right now, I understand that you're getting squeezed. You must be short the cable. And I understand that, but we got a daily buy going there, so it's awful tough to be short. At this point, it's a neutral. It's not the time to be involved. I guess, just hang tight in there, buy some calls, do something, stabilize it. And then once this thing rolls over again, then you just go right back into that short. But right now, you can see here we have, in our math, this thing is telling us don't be short. It's telling you also not to be long, because of the time manifold and the white line, and all this stuff is pressed down. So, IVB, I just say pick up some calls or cover. You know what I'm saying right there? Hang tough. So, it's not the position to be in at the moment. It's a neutral in our nomenclature. So there we are. But what else can we say about that? I guess that's about it. Also, again, I really do think that when the way I look at the cable is there's such a rebellion going on with the C19 virus that each day you see across the Telegraph and a lot of the other London papers that there's a big community that's come out and said, enough of this stuff, the lockdown. And I guess if Sweden or I guess it was North Dakota here in the States chose to do no lockdown, and their numbers are not really any different, and some of them are actually better. So what's that? What's this for today? The profit, the initial day sell off, and a bit of the rally back today. Oh, so you can see it went down and challenged yesterday's lows. Somewhere along the line, we were challenging yesterday's lows, and now we're at the high of, I guess, the last 10 or 15 days, going after that. What's that? Basically, the 130 area. I don't know. I keep on thinking the cable has much more energy for the upside than the downside, but that is what it is. So we're just watching it and watching it march, and And again, our math is telling us not to be short and not to be long. It's telling us to be neutral at the moment. I mean, the overall trend, as you can see, we've been in a downtrend since here in a weekly sell. But that's also in this area, really, when you really think about it. I mean, we went into the weekly sell. We went into a daily sell here. That was where you could get short. You know, it went down for a couple days, which was nice. And now we're already back into the buy again. Here with the volatility, the volatility with the green dot and the red dot, it told us that the short was kind of coming to an end. And now you can see here we've got the strength, and it's telling us to try to, watch out above. That's pretty much what it's screaming. Watch out above. So that's where we are. I hope that helped you out a little bit there. I'm a big fan of the cable, just like I am with the saltine, the dollar saltine, Swiss pairs trade. I find it to be very clear and very precise. Cable's all over the place, but it has the ability to really make some really good moves and trend well with our math. So that's why I enjoy the cable. Let's see. Let's put our glasses on for that. For us, any thoughts on yen? Yeah, let's take a look at the yen. We'll throw it up on J4X here. There's the yen there. Oh, a little strength there today, eh? And oh, look at it. It's rolling over instead. Yeah, I see that right there. And you even see a little reddish candle going on with that on the J4X. Let's put it up on right there. We've had 2 days of red dots. We're through. I guess we went into the sell yesterday. Let's just double check that, but I think we did. So there's the sell there from yesterday. It's up from it, so it's not exactly doing anything particular. We're in a weekly sell here, and that is line 19. 19. So 2 weeks in a sell, 1 day in a sell, and they went down and touched the lows, and now they're showing a little more strength in here again. This is probably, out of all that of the conversation here, that has my eye. The fact that the white line on the weekly and the histogram are both in the plus on plot 1 and plot 4, telling us that there's buyers coming in. It's a Thursday. We do see this happen Wednesday afternoons and Thursdays, kind of go after our math. You can see here on the daily, let's widen the daily even a little bit more. You can see here the histogram is still minus in plot 1. And you can see plot 4, same situation. Just a barrel minus, very mild. So we're seeing some strength come into here. Looks like there's some buying, looking at our math. And then when we look at the J4X, what are they doing with it at J4X? It's trying to roll over a little bit. Is that right? Yeah, they're trying to roll over a little bit right now. And I'm not really confident about that rollover, just solely because of this right here. The white line and the histogram are through the zero line here, and because they're through that means there's buyers. That's what it really does. It delineates the buyers from the sellers, and it's definitely more dominant in the buyers at this point in time. So I am shorting at these levels with a stop nearby. Let's see, shorting it. Okay, well, I mean, it's, it isn't a weekly sell, but right now the white line and the histogram are above the zero line. So I think whatever tool you're using, let it be clear, pay attention to it. If you short it and it keeps on, you said you have a short stop, so that's a good thing. But I see more an attempt to go up at the moment. Again, it is Thursday, and our math, our math has a tendency to do these things on Thursdays. Wednesday afternoons to Thursdays on currencies, they go up towards the weekly numbers. And here you have it, playing with the weekly number. So let's see if it starts to fail. I'd imagine I'm trying to figure out how do you align on the downside more? I would imagine that if it takes out yesterday's, I guess that would be its opening area. That would be, to me, you see how this thing plateaued with these 3 opening areas, right? And the close there. I guess that is an area to be paid attention to. And if it lifts up through that, then you have to assume that our work is giving you the pre to it. It's telling you that there's buyers, and that's what we watch there. If the buyers keep on moving beyond that flat-lined area from the last 4 days of the close and the 3 opening areas, it really says that there's some buying going on here, even more than what you see. And our math is already trying to tell you that on the weekly. The weekly, the longer-term traders are dominating right now. And now the daily is trying to jump into it too at the same time. So it's a tough short. Definitely a tough short. But then again, that's what makes a market. For every buyer, there's a seller. So I hope I helped you out there. Again, I'm cautious on that short side of it. All right, where were we at? We were looking at the saltine, and it telling us about the dollar being weak, and I guess you can see that here with the yen going up against the dollar, and that's a good example of it. Let's take a look at the euro. See what the euro is up to. Right there. Showing also strength because the saltine was heading down. And you can see some green candles there. And you can see the white line piercing enormously through both of these lines and heading towards the top of its range. Over here on Chicago Quant, you can see here, same situation, 3 green dots. Been in a daily buy for 2 full days. But again, just like the cable, it is tighter though. You can see that. Let me widen this a little bit. But you can see the weekly is trying to head up too at the same time. Would like to see the white line make it through the time manifolds, in between here. But at the same time, look how tight this is getting. And when it gets tight, you can get some interesting moves out of it. See right there? It got tight, was in a weekly buy, and it took off. And it can do that when the manifold gets tight. I was looking at one product yesterday. That's awful tight there. Look at that. I mean, really tight. And you can see the daily jumped up into here into a buy. And we got some buying up to here, I guess it was, right there. Then went into a sell for 1 day and then went right back into the buy again. And we got another 3 days of strength out of it before it went into the sell here, matching up with the weekly sell. And then you saw the great weakness out of it. So the tight manifold here can be a tip-off that action is coming. I agree that there is some buying. I will be careful. Yeah. I mean, take a profit when you get a profit on something of it, third of it, half of it, whatever you can. When go, play the in and out, in and out, in and out. Do the fast. So, but yeah, that manifold's getting awful tight. All right. Anybody else have anything else to look at? I mean, I'm glad to look at anything. I always say it's cheaper by the dozen around here. I'll just keep on showing you more and more and more. S&P? Sure, let's take it. Hey, 47. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to you. Let's check that out. All right, S&P right there. Right there on ours. It's at the highs of the day, basically. See what it looks like over here. There's a little bit comfort at a stimulus package again. So it's showing some life in it for that reason alone. And there it is on J4X too at the same time. Strength again. October is the month of lows, that's for sure. We know that big bottoms get set in October. And here we are the first day. And we'll see what that does for the next couple of weeks. But buying and averaging into October can be very, very profitable. And then you sell in May and go away. And so I think April is like the worst month of all. They start to sell into the markets. It has a tendency to go down. October's make major bottoms or bottoms And so dollar cost averaging the month is always a winner, like 100% of the time, which is amazing. Because everybody's terrified of October, you would think the buyers would be delighted for October to show up, especially with a 100% track record. And you can see here, again, we have that same problem as we have in a lot of products, and that is that the time manifold on the weekly is very, very weak. And, it's underneath the blue line there on the weekly. Now, whereas on the daily, which is very curious, it's bouncing off the time manifold and lifting back up again. So, it's, I guess this is really the true nature of an October. They started to sell into it. They jumped ahead. Here we are the first day of October, and this white line is really having an issue trying to get into the buy whatsoever. Ho, 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 Danielle! Daniel, how you doing? See, Doc, let's see. Buy in October and DAX sell in May and go away. Kind of agree. Yeah, I know. I mean, the stats for October, if you're doing good money management, it's if you can dollar cost average into that month nicely, and catch some of those big lows, you look like the National Bank of Switzerland in genius. Tell me that. I mean, I was raving about those guys yesterday or the day before. And I know I've done a webinar to actually taking a look at their portfolio and their trading activity. They are on spot. Those guys know, and gals, they're in the saltine box there, know what they're doing. They really do. And this you can see here, it's having its issue about trying to get into the weekly. The weekly buy number is just fighting itself there at the moment. But boy, if that line turns up, this could be you could be seeing the lows. I don't know if it's going to be next week or the following week or 3 weeks from now or whatever. But in the end result is it's going to be very, very insightful. What else can we say about that? I guess that's what it is. And then let's take a look at, since we're in the index itself, let's take a look at where do we go from here? Oh, I know it. I want to take a look at what is it? The Nasdaq. Let's take a look at the Nasdaq. Right there. Oh, look at that. I didn't even notice that this morning. The black histogram has gone through the zero line again on the upside. And the white line is just kind of fluttering around. Still hasn't broken the negative side of the time manifold here. The time manifold. Right there. The non-linear time manifold. My invention. All right. What do we got? I guess that's about it we can say about the Nasdaq. Now let's take a look at it here. It's the Tech 100, which it truly is the Tech 100. It is, and all the FANG stocks and so forth are like about 10% off their highs. So they've already started the, correction thing, but they don't seem to be able to knock it down much. But it is there. It's that correction thing going on. Let's see, what do we got here? Daniel says monthly pivot for the S&P 500 is 33.85. Quarterly pivot is 3333. Okay. Price above 333 and 385 is bullish. That makes sense. And where are we at now? Let me just take a quick look. Let's go back to that. So we're trading at, and what's the high today? Is that your 85? 88 is the high. So it's going up and played with your 85, and it's breaking down again from it. I guess if it stays trapped in there, let's see. So Daniel says estimated top would be 35 to 35.50. Daniel, gold has monthly and quarterly pivots at 1905 and 11. Gold above 1920 and bullish. What is gold doing? I noticed that silver looked like it was trying to go into the sell yesterday, but obviously it did not. I thought it did, but you can see there's silver. Let's take a look at gold. Gold is holding up really nice. Look at that. It's we went into the daily buy, and this thing is trying to turn back up here on the weekly. So seems like there's some buying going on there. And we'll just keep on watching the way it rolls. But yeah, the gold and the S&P's, it's, what are we? We're like, we're at the edge of the election at this point. There's a stimulus package being talked about, and what else can I say about the cross currents of what's going on at the moment? Election, stimulus, a total different philosophy. Mr. Biden is into this socialism stuff, and he's basically now all of a sudden said he's in disagreement with Bernie Sanders and Cortez from New York, the congresswoman. So I mean, things are getting really weird. One moment he's campaigning on a socialist agenda, and his polls go down, and now he's campaigning on a alleged capitalist agenda. I don't know. It's so weird. Without having a media here, you can't really identify much when it comes to the left because they hide pretty well. So anything's possible at this point. I don't see one thing I don't see though is I don't see Mr. Biden winning. So, but the fact that he's on the edge of he's in line to possibly be president, that's the scary part more than else. All right, what do we got else going on here? Again, that's the Tech 100 looking very, very firm in here. You would kind of think we've talked about this like an A, B, and C, and this is the B. Question is, normally a B would try to stall out here, but I would have to believe more like this area there, in the 12, go after the 12s. That's the way I would see it. I would think that like 5 or 6 more 100 points up. Now for gold, we were looking for it to get up into the low 19s again, and probably your pivot is one of the targets that a lot of people are looking at. So they're not able to get that going at the same time. Let's see, what else can we say? I guess that's what it is for those two. So there's the S&P, and that is gold, and this is the Nasdaq, and you can see they're trying to march along here. They're all showing life in them, but this could be all dead cat bounces, and being October, money gets nervous. Who needs to start dollar cost averaging on the first? I mean, obviously money starts to come in on the quarter. This is the first day of the quarter. So they're going to start going after positions. They're going to start getting long in there, but so far, it's not. It's not there. It's just not there. I think that we need to see a couple more weeks of October, and then we'll see what goes on from there. And that seems to be the recipe of it all. All right. Where else can we go? Anybody want to see anything particular? If not, we'll just keep on marching along through. Oh, we didn't see is let's see what the Turkish Lira is doing. I'm so used to tuning into the Lira to see what it's doing. I mean, something that's 43 weeks in a buy makes. Now, what is that? I think 88 is the high, or 89. Yeah. So, see that it's trying to march down a little bit. If the white line starts to break down, maybe we're going to see some weakness again in it. And let's go find it here. There's Turkish Lira. Yeah, look at that. White line has broken the time manifold again after that buy signal. And you can see that weekly is holding up very firm in here. And over on the spreadsheet, that's line 17. We are now orbiting in the 43-week weekly buy and 3 days in a daily buy. And they are making the challenge right here. I wonder where the, see if we can see where the histogram is. Yeah, the histogram is also in the minus. So you can see plot 1 is in the minus and plot 4 is in the minus. So the weakness is there. Let's see. What do we got here? Fares says, not an American, but honestly, I would not trust Biden if I were. He is a seasoned politician. I know. That says it all. I know. Trump has a commercial out that says, I've been in office 47 months and I've done 10 times more than Biden did in 47 years or something like that. And that's the truth. Yeah. One is a career politician, one's a patriot. And we know that Trumpy's the patriot. So, I agree with you. I mean, it's strange, but everybody, it's like going into a museum and looking at fine art, Some people see one thing, some people see something else. You and I see the same thing. Other people see something else. Yeah, and Daniel agrees too. Uh, let's see, Nasdaq and Dow both above their monthly and quarterly pivots. Yeah, let me just go to my daily chart that I look at on the. There's the Dow, and you can see we pierced our green line of last week and closed above it, and it's climbing up again. Um, we're in a daily buy there with no problem, and the same thing is happening here with I'm not sure where the time manifold is. Let's see what the time manifold looks like. Invisible. Okay, let's make it uninvisible. There we are there. And you can see here the green line is, I don't know why I have these colors, but the green line is banging against the minus side of the time manifold, and so is the histogram. Matter of fact, I guess what we need to do is, let's do it this way. Let's highlight that, widen that just a tick or two, and then put the dead zero center line in for 0. Where is the 0 line? The 0 line, can we figure this out? Where's the 0 line on this thing? Let's move this over. Where is the 0 line? Something's weird about this whole thing here. Let's just take a look at this again. So the histogram is white. Okay. The what is this? This is let's move this over. Cancel. And grab a hold of it, like so. Okay, and so now when I double click on it, let's see what it is. So we got the white line is the histogram. The white line normally is, I guess what we should do is we should make that the line, right? Like that. Make that thinner. One more thickness. And then the time manifold instead of blue, because it's a dark screen. And then plot, okay, so the green line, that should be a histogram. And we can't go black because then we wouldn't see it. So, okay, so there it is there. Okay, yeah. So now we make it fatter so we can see it. There we are. Okay, so that's what's going on there. So it's dancing. Oh, let's go to the inputs of this. Okay. So it's, broke down here and went into the cell, and it's playing with the bottom of the manifold. But the daily is holding up. It's the same situation we're seeing in the other products. So the short term, everything is pushing up. The longer term traders are keeping us down, and you can see that in essence we are off the highs. But in this case here, it's trying to lift up, and then when we go over to here, same situation, off our highs here. But the daily is trying to dominate on the upside here. Now this is interesting, is that the histogram is coming back to life again, and it's jumped across the 0 line. So that tells us at least there's the fangs are starting to be bought again. It's going to take some work, but again the S&P looks the same way as the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Let's see. Okay, so then let's see where we're going. The Nasdaq, Dow, both monthly. Okay, message retracted. What happened? Did you use a 4-letter word? Okay, and Daniel says U.S. Treasury bonds below monthly and quarterly pivots. Let's take a look at that. The 10-year. There's a 10-year. You can see, I'm not sure why it wasn't filling in here, but that's the real white line right there, that little dot, and it's in the minus right now. And you can see the histogram is down. It wasn't a buy coming in, and it looks like it's going to close in a weekly sell there. Now over on the, we're also following the 30-year bond too at the moment. We have a client watching it, so we have the chart on that. Now that's interesting, as it seems to be trying to. This has led it more. You can see it's been in a sell for a few days, and we're down in a sell here like that. And then again we go back to the 10-year. That's the 30-year, and same situation. except for it's only going on a second day in a sell. And it came in at a buy there and is now pressing into the weekly sell. So it seems to be the 10-year is starting to join in with the 30-year. Let's see. Daniel says Turkish Lira entry, or Euro Turkish Lira, will stay bullish above their monthly and quarterly pivots. Both touched their monthly pivots and then jumped back up. That wouldn't surprise me any. And then that makes sense too. And you can see the Turkish Lira doesn't seem to have any real direction more than it finds ways to go up all the time. Every time they go into a sell, let's see if we can put it up on the screen here again. Every time they put the Turkish Lira into a sell, right there, it lasts for a day or two, or in this case here it was 3 days, and it goes back into the buy. Every time we see that, at best it can do 3 days, and it goes back into a buy, and there's usually a nice move again. And I guess right here, you had it went into a buy, a sell here, went into a buy, went into a sell there, and then back into, then it couldn't do a buy. It did the buy here, and then it got really sloppy and went into a sell. That's a real, there's your loss. Our math has to be losing once in a while. And then what else do we have here? That sell, that was the way back where it tried to get into the weekly. One of the lines actually made it to the zero line. The other one did not. This was one of those classics where the product couldn't do that. All right, and then Daniel says to me, okay, oh, and then oil. Did he say oil? Okay, here's oil. Daniel's saying oil has the monthly and quarterly pivot at 39.80. Seems like it's locked in that area. And price now 39.50. This might be a top for the oil. We went into a weekly buy in oil and a couple of weeks ago, and it just didn't give us that normal move. You know, we usually get, we went into a daily and a weekly buy. Where was it? Right here. We went into the, no, that's not it. There it is right there. We went into the weekly buy back here, and we were in a daily buy, and it led us to the weekly buy. It was a nice move. And then it goes into the buy, and then the Monday they sell it down hard, and then all for like 7-8 days they just slowly grind it back up again. And then they go into they go into a buy here. It gives you a nice little pop up of about 75 cents. Where did it close at? It closed at 25, and the high was 80. So it made 55 cents, and then it sold off again. It goes into the sell, and the next day it's back into the buy, and now it's flirting with the sell as we speak. You can see it here. This is this has no direction whatsoever, and it's, you know, like I said, it's odd. Usually we get a good signal on it. Like in this case here, it was in a sell from here, from the top on the daily. Then it gets into the weekly that week into a sell, like right in here. You know, you can if you're trading options, you can be short. If not, you're holding. If you're trading the hard delta, you have to be cautious and wait for the signal to complete itself. And then you can see it jumps into the buy again here, and in and out. You know, it's just not a lot of good action here at all. Right now, it seems to be really confused, the oil. And probably looking at your pivot, you know, of the quarter. They have a habit of, you know, people adhere to those things. To me, stock indices and gold and silver are bullish. Oil might not be as bullish and likely bearish. And the dollar is kind of neutral. Dollar bullish this month, but still bearish this quarter. Yeah, I agree. I think that all that makes a lot of sense. Everything you said there makes a lot of sense. And a few plays, you know, right now I think until this election thing is over with, it's just going to be this, you know, sloppiness over and over and over again. Let's see, Daniel says few plays to go. Long versus dollar would be Turkish Lira and maybe dollar ruble. Yeah, dollar ruble slid into a daily sell yesterday. Where is that? Let's take a look. Right there. And it went into the sell here. It's up on our spreadsheet, in the fact check spreadsheet. What line is that? Where are you, ruble? There you are. Yeah, so we're 13 weeks in a buy and 1 day in a sell. You know, it's been in a buy. Let's scrunch that thing up. So it's been in a buy since back here. And it was a nice weekly trend that, you know, kept it live week after week after week. And for those that are new here, what happens is that our fact check spreadsheet what we do is we follow the success of the math constantly, documenting it. And so, you can go back and look, 2 months, 6 months, 9 months, 2 years, 10 years, whatever, and take a look and see. And you can see we have a fact check spreadsheet that is constantly confirming what our math is saying. So we can go back and look over there just without, and at the same time when we put it up on the screen here. So in this case here, the ruble slid into the daily sell yesterday right there. But we're in a weekly. And you can see the white line is way up, off a high, no doubt about that. Might take another week for it to start to break down. And you can see already the white line on the daily has busted the minus manifold. And, it might find a way to turn back up again. So that is the ruble. Let's see. Daniel says the message retracted was about me. About you. What you saying? Misspelling treasury bonds, saying above pivots when it was instead below. I see. Okay. That's my analysis. No, it's a very good analysis. I kind of tend to agree with it. I think a lot of this, I'm just waiting for the election to become over with, and then that will obviously open the doorway. Okay, that's my analysis. Crypto is about to go bullish too. So watch out for that too. Bitcoin quarterly pivots 10,700, price 900, quarterly 357, 367. Yeah, as you go long with dollar against the Turkish Lira and ruble. Yeah, that's been a winner, that's for sure. And when it comes to, let's take a look at the Bitcoin. There's the Bitcoin there. It's in a sell there, but you can see it's trying to it went into a daily sell yesterday. I guess, what is that, line 20? Yeah, so it's in a sell, 2 weeks in a buy. Oh, we don't have the line on this one. So 2 weeks would be there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it would be this one right there. I'm not sure why it's not filling. I have to dedicate more time to it. Straighten that out. We switched months. It has some effect on it, and we have to turn something on somewhere along the line. So it went into the weekly buy there, and it seems to have been okay. The overall trend is up for the last couple of weeks. This is going on. If it closes up in here, it'll be a close for a third week in a weekly buy. Daily seems to be humping its way north also at the same time. Let's see. Daniel says bonds. Let's see. Oh, go long with dollar against the Turkish Lira rule. Okay, yep, we saw that part. Okay, there we are. So that's where we are now with those particular products. You can see that strength that it's kicking out in there. I'm not really seeing anything else. I'm there with Daniel on most of that. It seems like that, except for I'm just doing it more on options. I don't really see any real, all's clear sign. To me, the election has a grave effect on the money managers' minds. So I don't really think we're going to see a lot of capital committed. I think they're going to probably, nibble. You'll see them buying a little bit here and there. I mean, imagine if that's probably why FANGs are only down X amount, because I think that they're going to try to, constantly try to nibble away at them being down 10 or 15%. We can go ahead and take a quick look at some of the FANG stocks. Where's that at? Right there. There it is. And there you have, you see Tesla's been firm, and you can see it's been in a weekly buy for a while. I mean, where is the weekly buy? We never marked it. Okay. Well, one thing for sure, it's in a buy here. Well, it wasn't in a sell there, that's for sure. It wasn't in a sell here. It wasn't in a sell here. It wasn't in a sell here. Where the hell did it go in a buy? I think we have it on the spreadsheet. Let's take a look at it on the spreadsheet. We'll open up the spreadsheet to it. 25 weeks in a weekly buy. Okay, 4 days in a daily buy on the Tesla. And then let's see Apple. Apple's acting fairly well. It's in a weekly sell from here. I guess that's what it is. Let me fix that. Where's an arrow there? So it went into the sell here. Like that. There we are. So it's been a couple weeks in a sell. That's on line 2. 3 weeks in a sell, 4 days in a buy. And it's been trying to turn up in there. And then Amazon, right there. Amazon, same situation. What is that? 2 weeks in a sell. And it looks like it's trying to battle its way back. It's also, the time manifold's getting really tight in here. And we are a few days in a buy, 3 days in a buy there. So you can see some of these FANG stocks. And then Google. Went into a daily sell yesterday. That's line 8. And it's trying to go into a buy here this morning again. And it's in a weekly sell for a couple weeks here. 2 weeks. And it looks like it'll be a third week. Now let's take a look at Facebook. In a buy for 4 days. Going on a 5th. And in a weekly sell for 2 weeks? 3 weeks? 2 weeks. 1 week. Should be 2 weeks, right? Yeah, right there. That's 1, that's 2. It should be 2 weeks, not 1 week. There we are. Let's save that. And so that's the FANGs. You can see that. And I guess you could look at Microsoft in there too. Let's see. Daniel says summarize long stock indexes, cryptos, precious metals, long currencies. Let's see, rubles and so forth. Along dollar. Along the dollar though, and against the lira and the ruble. Oil sell-off risk below 40. Yeah, what did it go down to 38 or something like that, didn't it? Wondering how high Tesla can go. That is bullish too. Let's see, middle-aged muscle. Hey, middle-aged muscle. That's a good question on the Tesla. You know, anything's possible in there. That battery technology they have just has it really rocking. I've noticed that the AM quants in corn and wheat has been reflecting the overnight trading. Robin said to ask you about it. Sure, let's take a look and see. Because yesterday didn't they rip them like through the roof? Let's see, right there. I'm gonna close out the FANGs. Let me just close the FANGs out too. And then, yeah, where is that at? There it is. I mean, corn is the wildest. We're gonna do something on the article about corn tomorrow. Corn has been in a buy since back here, before the weekly buy, back on August 12th. It's like 30 some odd days, like 36, 37 days. It tries to get into sells and keeps on failing at it. You know, like the histogram goes there, but the white line won't. Or, you know, in this case here, the white line got in there, but the histogram was like plus or 0. And then same thing here, you know, or no, I guess right here, yes. The white line goes minus for a couple days, and the histogram is plus. You know, this thing just keeps on fighting. It just does not let go, and it's been so it's one of the longest. We don't fill that in on the spreadsheet, but I think I counted up yesterday. It's 37 days. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 30. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 34 days in a buy. 34 days in a buy. This product is wild. You know, it 34 days in a buy. I'm going to write that in there. Because I've been watching that. 34 days in day buy. I mean, that's really just astonishing, you know. And in a weekly buy for, was it 7 weeks? Now that's on the spreadsheet. You can see that. Let me get rid of the stock one. You can see there, 7 weeks in a weekly buy on corn. So, let's see if did I answer you, middle age? Let's see. Let's see. So let me just check that again. Notice that the AM quants corn wheat hasn't been reflecting the overnight trading, Rob. Yeah, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's really odd. Like there, it's not reflecting it right now either. That's the 30th. And then what did I see? I saw beans are, no, not that beans, but the November beans were, I think. Yeah, November beans are reflecting it this morning. And then where's it at here? And then wheat. Wheat is not. And I could have sworn it was, but it's not. And then, so it's mainly the beans still that they're doing it, but they're not reflecting corn and wheat. They're waiting for another hour before they start to reflect live trading again. That's just the way the grains are, I guess. Wheat, we'll have to double check that for you though. Middle-aged muscle. We'll check in that. Corn yearly pivot is 400. Where are we at now? 3 something? Yeah, 379. Looks like it's aiming towards your pivot, that's for sure. It's been one interesting move. And it says wheat and soybeans more bullish than corn. Well, corn has really had a great run. I mean, a super run. So I mean, that has been very impressive. Let's see. Okay, there we are. Let me move that off the screen there. Where's that at? Oh, it's on that screen over there. Okay. Yeah, I've been a little confused too why we don't see the overnight market in those two. I have to double check that. I noticed at one time it was showing it in the Octobers, but it doesn't want to show it in the back months. And whereas in if you notice in soybeans, it's the front month that they're reflecting it, but they don't reflect it in the January contract. See? Right there. Let's just give this a reload and see if it's updated it yet. Nothing. So, seems like the front month they're paying attention to it. So if we went and looked at the October corn, chances are it would be reflecting what they're doing at the moment. Let's see. Daniel says corn. Yeah, okay, we saw that the 400 pivot. Wheat and soybean more bullish, right? Grains will likely be bullish in the next year. It seems like it. It does seem like it. They seem to be really reaching for these things. Wheat and soybeans already above their yearly pivots. Oh, are they really? So wheat and soybeans are already above their pivots. A lot of times when you follow a sector like that, when corn gets to the pivot, it's $400 area. A lot of times that tops everything out. I've seen that happen throughout the decades. So keep an eye on that. $400 corn could be the new top for the grains. Could be a short-term top. I mean, we want our weekly numbers to confirm. You can see here beans in a buy for a while now. Wheat, same situation, in a buy for 6 full days, going on a 7th week. 6 full weeks, going on a 7th week. So the weekly trend has been up, and then look at that long daily run. That was interesting. And then it gave us a topping. Was it right here? Then they spiked it up and went into a buy, and then went nowhere. Gave back some of your profits there, and then it went into the sell. But we're in a weekly, so you can't do anything more than just sit back and watch it, unless you're in the options, and you can play the option side of it. And then it goes back into the buy, making back all the do re mi that you gave up over here, and 5 times more because it went up. What is that? 20. Let me see what that is. 20. That's a dime, right? So it made 40, 50, almost 60 cents. 10, 20, 30, 40 cents. Nice move there. Whereas over here you might have lost like 12 or 15 cents. Made it all back again, not counting all the nice profits there. And it's doing it again here. Put you into the buy here at was that 540-ish area? Yesterday it traded up to where? 587.40-ish. God, that's 45 cents. Yeah, that's a massive push on the upside there. All right. Anybody want to see anything particular? Another product we can, if you just like Daniel throws out those names, I just go look at them just to see what they're doing. So the grains did show a lot of life there yesterday, and the only thing we were not, I don't think we were in a buy when it came to the front month of soybeans out of that move yesterday. So yeah, we were in a daily sell, but in a weekly buy, so you couldn't be short, so you didn't get squeezed. And then today it's paying off, being long overnight. Now let's see what the Jan looked like. So Jan was the same way. Excuse me, had 4 days in a sell. You couldn't be short because we're in a weekly buy. And then now I imagine this might be higher too. But it's only showing the front month overnight. They're not showing the regular. Let's see. So that is that. Where did we leave off in currencies? I guess we looked at yen. Did we look at Canadian? I don't think we looked at the Canadian. Anybody care to see the Canadian? We can go look at it if you want. If not, we can just look at some of the commodities and the stock markets and go from there. NVDA is bullish. I think I have that. Yeah, I have it here. Yeah, I have that on the FANG chart. Open. Where is that at? There it is, right there. Right there, MVDA. Now, it's in a weekly buy for 1 week, right? No. That didn't get into a sell. So it's been in a buy for a while. Bigger question is where from. Let's go over to that, over to the spreadsheet and take a look. That is 27 weeks NVDA in a buy, 4 days in a buy, as you can see on there. So it's been a while, 27 weeks, half a year it's been in a buy. Went into the sell here. You couldn't really take it. And the 1 day buy, no buy because it's a red dot. What's up with this? Let's move those down. There's the green dot. There we are. So a lot of red on that. And you can see all the weakness here. But look at that nice pop it had here and then brought it right back down again. Unfortunately, you couldn't be short it and because you're in a weekly buy. So you just had to sit there and watch that do that action. And then unless you're trading the options again, as I always say. And then obviously it went back into the buy here. And then fell into the sell there, and then back into the buy again right here at the $500 area. And where's it at now? $549. So it's gone up about $50. So NVDA, 27 weeks in a weekly buy. So over half a year in a weekly buy. Yeah. What's that? The NVA stands gain from crypto. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that a few times. That them and the AMD, both of them benefit from the crypto mining. In this case here, we've been in a buy since, what's 27 weeks back? My God, it's so long ago. 27 weeks. I guess you divide 4 into it. So you're talking 4 times divided into 28. You're talking at least 9 weeks back. No, 27 weeks back. So you're talking about, where are you? You're talking about March, since the March lows. There it is right there. April. Yeah, there it is. There's the weekly buy. Right there. And, it did more sell than buy, when it comes to the dailies. I mean, you got a buy there, and then that was a good buy right there. I'm not sure where the dots have gotten to again, but let's do this. There they are. Let's see what we do here. Scaling? Screen. There we are. So you see there, the buys have been really good. It seems very trending in many ways on the buy side, of course. When you're in that weekly buy, I mean, there's a buy right there. You get that whole nice run out of it. There's another buy right. Where's that buy at? Right there. And you get another beautiful run out of it. And then there's another buy right there, and you get another beautiful run. That's what happens when you're playing the weekly and the daily together. You see, AMD less bullish than NVDA, but still bullish. Yeah, yeah. We have a client looking at AMD. Let me just put that up. I'm going to close this, and where's it at? Right there. There it is, right there. It's went into the sell right here. It's been in a daily sell, and it went into a buy, and looks like we're flirting with the weekly buy again right there. That's what's happening. If it closes here tomorrow, we're going to be in a weekly buy again, and you can see we're already in 3 days of a daily buy, and this is the fourth piece. This is the pre-market right here. So, all right, traders. I think we've answered most of the questions, if not all of them. I hope everybody enjoyed thinking and looking and watching and so forth and so on. And we've got to come up with a title to this today. I think it's just going to be, does anybody have an idea what we should call this? I don't have an opinion. We didn't really focus in on anything particular today, did we? Let me think. Pivots? We could talk about the pivots since Daniel was involved with it today. We can say title, quarterly pivots. Daniel was gracious enough to do the work. Quarterly pivots. Let's see if we get that right. Curtly. No, that's not it. Okay. And let's see, we got to change that. Let's see. Title. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so anyway, this is Doc. Pivots, yes, as a title. I think, Daniel, you put the data out there. It's there, you know. Well worth pivots for end of year. How's that? I think that's pretty much there, you know. I like that. All right. Thank you, Daniel, for jumping in, and we were able to look at the pivots and the weeklies combined together, which I think is brilliant, you know. All right, this is Doc from North America saying see you on tomorrow. It's TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. So happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends.